Steve, what's up, man? How you doing today?
Feeling like $1 million. How about you? How you doing?
Man, I'm amazing. I had a great leg day today, so I'm kind of like standing here. It's kind of painful, but man, I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day today, so hell yeah.
I feel you. I feel
How
your
would
pain.
you?
I hit legs, I think 3 days ago. I'm still feeling the pain from that one. So,
Hey, but that's how
but
you know you worked out like well, you know.
exactly,
So, how would
exactly.
you explain to someone what you're doing or who you are to someone who doesn't know you?
Yeah, I mean, to the random person, they might kind of see me as a crazy madman, but
No.
the way I see myself is I'm not a madman. I'm more of like a man that was sick, that learned how to heal
Mm.
himself. So
Mm.
I've seen the sides of being like on a more unhealthy and on the sides of being healthy. So my job is to try to kind of bring
Mm.
those two worlds together. And I'm just
What's
trying to
like
do like health first guys. Is maybe how I describe myself.
what's like the first impression people get of you?
Usually it's pretty positive. They tell me they like my
Oh.
personality. They enjoy the smile. They might see
Mm.
the arms or the
Yeah.
muscles and they'll be like, wow, this guy's jacked. It's funny though. Sometimes they'll see like my muscles and say, wow, this guy's jacked. He's probably mean and very intimidating. Then I'll
Mm.
speak to them and they'll be like, oh, wow, he's actually a good person.
Bro,
He's
the
not, he's
most
not.
jacked guys are actually the nicest people on earth, bro.
They really are. They are because
Mm.
they may have started off being weak. They may have been the ones who were pushed around, so they know what it's like to be kind of pushed around, and that's why they know
Mm.
not to abuse their strength. Maybe.
Yeah, bro, people who are strong, like naturally, they've always been strong. Maybe they're fat, but they've been always strong. Those are actually people that bully people, like in school, etc. But people who are weak and then became strong, they know what it's like to be weak.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hell yeah,
They
man.
have both perspectives. They don't want to. They don't want to contribute to the
Mm.
problem. They want to solve the problem.
Yeah. I feel like you got literally the perfect physique that everybody wants, bro. Like, I don't think that there's any like body part that you're lacking. You have a jacked six pack. Your back is huge. Bro, your chest and shoulders, bro, are huge. Your arms, bro, everything. Like, how long have you been working out for?
I appreciate you, man. It's been like 10 years of working out my journey, but I feel like
Ten
I've always kind of
years.
had an edge just because I got great genetics from my parents. Like I feel like I hit
Hmm.
like a genetic lottery. I might not be like a 6'8" NBA player, but I
Hmm.
got in terms of just like genetics and muscle building. I feel like I got very lucky.
Hold on. How
Um,
how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Holy shit, bro! I thought you were like me, like 18 or some shit. Man, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
people they also say that it's funny because they also say I look very young for my age. Well, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't even know.
Well, eventually with time you will look old, like inevitably. So it's like at least hold on
Yeah,
to the youth as long as you can, man.
no,
People always
exactly.
tell me that I look older than I actually am, bro. People tell me I'm 21, 22 when I'm 18, bro.
Maybe it's the beard. I feel like as soon as you have a
Ah,
beard, people
yeah.
they'll treat you like you're a
Mm.
wise man.
Yeah, but when I don't shave, when I shave, bro, I have a fucking baby face, bro. I don't like that
But it is no, you should keep the beard. It'll make people
Yeah.
they'll respect you more for your age.
Mm. Also, like, bro, this is like me not shaving for like 4 or 5 days, bro. If I let it grow for
Wow,
like 2 weeks, bro,
dude,
it's
you're lucky.
horrible. Yeah, man.
I haven't shaved above here like ever.
Ah.
I got nothing. That's the one. That's where I
Mhm.
got nerfed. Like I have the muscle building genetics. I don't really have the facial hair growing genetics though.
You know what? For me, actually, bro, I always had like the sideburns, but then it never grew on my cheeks, and now it has been. The thing, you know what's derma rolling?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, derma rolling actually helped me. A lot of people talk about minoxidil. I tried that for like 6 months. It didn't do shit, bro. Derma rolling is the one thing I've been consistent with, and I've seen a little bit of
Wow.
progress, bro. But even though, bro, my beard is still patchy as fuck, bro.
You still
So
got time. You're still young. You still got
yeah,
time for that to lock in.
yeah. I mean, my brother's 23 and he has a full beard and he ain't doing nothing. So hopefully, I might get lucky too.
I got faith. I got faith.
Yeah. So, what was your childhood like, man?
Childhood.
Yeah.
So I was raised pretty much in just like a small suburban town, like nothing too crazy. Um, but I guess like maybe the crazy part was I was one of five boys growing up. So I have four siblings, all boys, no sisters, and we all went to the same school system and pretty much did the same things growing up, trying to play sports.
Mm.
And I'm not the youngest, but I'm one above the youngest. So I was kind of
Mm.
the one who kind of pushed around And I think that even played a big role in why I got strong. Because like,
Mm.
there's one moment that sticks out to me that kind of almost ignited my passion for lifting, and it was when like my three older brothers, they got out in my front lawn, and they invited some of our cousins over, and it was the three older, also male cousins, and they
Mm.
all kind of got out in our front lawn and were flexing like this to pose for a picture. And I was like, "Yo, that looks cool! Like, let me join them." And I ran over
Yeah.
and I tried to flex with them for the picture, and they told me, "No, get out of the picture. You're too small. Maybe next year you'll be bigger
Oh.
and be able to flex with us." And
Oh.
that set something off in me.
Oh, bro, but like these types of situations for me was when a girl in my class and when I was like 14 or 15 in middle school, right? And she told me like I have bigger tits than her because I was fat. And bro, that was the thing that made me want to work out, bro. Holy shit. But
But
exactly,
at that point, she was kind of insulting herself too, to an extent.
if you
So,
think about it, yeah. But bro, I went home and I cried to my brother, and he was like, I thought he would say, "Nah, bro, fuck her. Like she doesn't know what she's saying." I thought he would comfort me. Fuck no, he told me, "Yeah, bro, look at yourself. You're fucking fat." You know,
dude,
and he
that's
just
some
like
tough
literally
love, though.
he gave me some more tough love when I came home, and that's what made me work out. And I'm grateful
Dude,
for
that's
that, bro.
good.
Honestly.
No, you should be, because anytime like someone, if even if they kind of say a mean thing, if it inspires you to become better, like that's a beautiful thing. That means they did
Mm.
that out of love, honestly.
I always look at the result of something, not like, okay, maybe she had bad intentions because she just wanted to insult me. But my brother had a good intention. Either way, the
Exactly.
intention doesn't matter. Like the result matters. Did that get me into the gym? Yes. Then I don't
Exactly.
really care if like that person liked me or not because I'm still grateful that the girl bullied me in school, or bullied me, just made fun of me. I'm still kind of glad for that, to be honest, because it got me into the gym. So I'm
I
kind of
agree with you.
thankful to her.
It even kind of connects to like sometimes like it'll be a kid that hates that, or a son that never gets
Mm.
along with his dad.
Oh
But it's
yeah.
only when the dad kind of passes away or grows older that the kid realizes, dang, like all those hard days he gave me made me the man I am
Mm.
today, strong, and
Oh
they end
yeah.
up being really grateful for it. So it's that same kind of tough love that
Oh yeah.
it has its purpose, honestly.
Mm. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And you know what's
I
funny,
think that's
man?
part of masculinity, honestly.
Uh, when you said that you come from you're from a family of 5 children, that reminded me of something. Man, doesn't it feel like back in the day people just had more kids? Like nowadays people just have
100%.
one, maybe two, and
Yeah,
that's it. And back then, bro, my dad, I have 6 uncles. So basically, my dad, bro, 7 children out of one woman, bro.
it's
Holy
crazy.
shit, man. And all
It's acting
boys.
crazy.
So that's like crazy, bro. It's like, so it's like back then people just seem to have more kids for some reason, man.
Definitely. Because
And
even
it's
my parents, like my dad, he was also like one of like either 7 or 8, and my mom was also like one of 7 or 8. But they were both
yeah.
they both immigrated from Nigeria here to the
Mm,
U.S. like around 30, 35 years ago.
mm,
Um, so I guess it's more of an African tradition to have a big family. But yeah, you're right. When you
mm.
came, or at least when we came over to the U.S. and the Western countries, we saw like just small families, like 1 or 2
Yeah.
kids, 3.
Yeah, yeah. My parents emigrated from Romania to Czech Republic, which is like almost 1,000 miles away, something like that. And yeah, bro, even like, but even in Romania, even to this day, people have like small families. So it's even in Europe in general. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
only really because people had more money back then. Nowadays, the biggest excuse they have is that, oh, we don't have enough money to take care of more kids. Bro,
Yeah.
my parents, my grandparents, bro, they were broke as fuck. They're doing
Mm-hmm.
better now than back then, but they had more children back then. So that excuse doesn't kind of make sense. I wonder, why the fuck is that?
It's true, honestly. Even my parents, because at some point growing up, my parents did divorce, but they recently got
Mm-hmm.
back together. But while they were divorced, like it was kind of my single mom being the backbone, raising us
Mm,
5 boys in the house. And
yeah.
I mean, we all turned out pretty well. So the money
Yeah, bro.
excuse isn't as valid, like you said.
Uh,
It's
yeah.
more of a culture than I think. They just think it's too much of a hassle or
Mm,
something. But I've heard
yeah.
like that's one of the biggest threats that Western populations face is that at some point, because people aren't having enough kids, there's going to be a population collapse where they'll have a problem like in Japan where they sell more diapers to elderly than the actual babies, and
What
that's
the
bad.
fuck?
That means there's not enough people to support those elderly.
Holy
Um,
shit, dude.
So yeah, that might
Yeah,
happen
bro,
in the
that's
West. They don't
crazy.
start having more kids. But another thing, it might be honestly like infertility rates increasing.
Oh yeah,
That might be part
bro.
of it.
Especially like they push the propaganda, fucking eggs being bad for you, etc., and red meat. I want to get into all of that later on,
Dude,
but
that's why this egg diet for me is so important because like
mm,
we're seeing declining testosterone levels in the West, and I feel like the
yeah,
first type of solution I hear doctors talk about is they don't say, "Hey, change up your diet or start exercising." They say, "Here,
mm,
take this needle. We're gonna inject TRT into you going forward." And I
yeah,
feel like that doesn't make sense. Like you should try to fix the root cause. You shouldn't try to like put a band-aid over it. And I
mm,
feel like TRT is that band-aid. So I'm curious to see
mm,
like if the eggs, because the reason I started the diet is Vincent Geronda said that the eggs could create or at least mimic the effect of taking a cycle of like Dianabol. But if
yeah,
you can achieve that steroid-like effect through diet alone, at that point, maybe this will be the replacement for TRT,
yeah.
which
And
would
it's
be
also like crazy
awesome.
because Vince Gironda, he downed like 30 eggs a day, 32, something like that. That was like actually a crazy number, bro.
Yeah,
But there's
and
also
that's my
some,
goal.
yeah, man. Like, bro, I had 5 eggs today. I'm gonna probably have another 4 or 5 like before sleep. Like the most I
Mhm.
ever ate in a day was probably like 15. But bro,
Yeah,
doubling that seems hard. Like I struggle to get 10 in every day, because I
yeah,
also eat beef. But like honestly, for the past year, I've been more of like I don't want to say really carnivore diet, but more like 60% meat, then eggs and cheese, I'd say, and raw milk. And like these,
yeah. That's fire, dude. I'm
yeah,
jealous.
I completely cut out carbs, so I stopped eating that bullshit cereal with milk and fucking sandwiches and fucking all of
Yeah,
that shit, bro. Even fruits, I don't really eat fruits no more. And
really.
bro, I'm sorry, but I've been feeling fucking sharp as hell mentally, but even like definition wise, like in my muscles, bro, I've seen like my physique got better over the past year, even though I've been in
That's
a slight deficit if you think about it. So,
yeah, that's good. Honestly, I bet I don't know about the quality of food where you live, but at least in the U.S., like
mm.
it's notoriously bad. Like they just put so many weird extra chemicals and things like our
Oh
bread.
yeah,
So honestly, I cut out like all bread carbs, like all starch
yeah,
carbs. Like I don't really eat pasta, like spaghetti, bread, etc. When I
mm.
do eat carbs, it'll just be like either fruits or something like a sweet potato or from like honey,
Yeah,
like those natural sources.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the rest, it's just been I don't know. Something's
Mm.
wrong with the food, at least in
Oh,
my
hold on a
country.
second. I want to show you something.
What's up?
So I've been reading this book, Ultra Processed People by Chris Van Tilliken. It's in my language, but Ultra Processed People, it's called. And bro, this book, bro, I'm on barely on a 14th page, but it just what I found out about fucking ice cream and bread so far, it's fucking. I'm never touching that shit again. Like this book is
It's
actually
fun.
fucking frightening. They
Yeah,
explain like the type of shit that they put in it just to save money, to put ingredients that replace eggs and milk, that replace that, right? And what they even do to the real butter, right? So even ghee is pretty like safe, but like normal butter they buy in the store a lot of times, it's not even from animals really, or like from animal fat. It's really just synthetic, bro. That's fucking scary, you know.
it's terrible.
Yeah. He gave like one example that a person that drinks like a fucking liter of Pepsi a day is more dangerous than a person that smokes 3 cigarettes or like something like that. Like it's fucking more dangerous, which is like
Crazy.
crazy because nowadays they call that it's okay. But that's what they did in the 60s in the US, saying that smoking is good for you, or probably in the 50s. Right. So I
Hmm.
think that this might just be the same thing. In like 50 years, we might see how they lied to us. But obviously, everybody
Yeah,
who's not stupid knows that Pepsi is bad for you. Like that. How can anybody think that that's good for you?
it's terrible. Even I don't even trust like the zero, like the Pepsi Zero or the Diet Pepsi. I don't trust any of that. I like the
Yeah.
basics. I like drinking water. If I find raw
Yeah.
milk, I'll drink raw milk, or I'll drink some like juices maybe. But that's
Yeah,
about it.
bro. And especially, bro, water like from the plastic is horrible. That's why like I use like these like steel bottles.
Smart man.
Remember?
Hey, you're just like me.
Yeah.
I got this glass water bottle right here. Looks to
Yeah,
be
that's
giant
good,
person
bro.
bottle.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Got a half gallon in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, let me just open my window because it's hot as fuck in here.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. There's another thing I want to mention once you get back also.
Yep. What?
So this kind of exact problem we're talking about, where there's just too many foods that are kind of fake. Like, at least in the U.S., I've heard about 80% of the foods they sell in grocery stores, they just didn't
Mm.
exist like 50 years ago. So
Yeah.
they're like creating new synthetic foods, packaging them with fancy label and selling them, but they're fake foods is what they are. So what I want to do is I'm working on launching like a new food store, and I'm calling
Mm.
it Eden, like the Garden of Eden. And I only want to sell
Mm.
real foods that would have existed during that
Hell
time,
yeah.
in those biblical days where you just had natural foods. You didn't have to worry about weird red 40 or weird synthetic
Oh yeah,
preservatives
bro.
in food. And I just want to sell things like raw milk,
Uh,
raw cheese, raw butter, raw even raw ice cream, because ice cream
mm.
shouldn't be bad for you. The problem is they ruin ice cream by putting a bunch of random BS nonsense in it. So I
Yeah.
want to sell real ice cream, because that's like a real protein shake right there, or a real
Yeah.
milkshake.
Bro, they
Uh,
put bacterial slime in ice cream. That's what is slime doing in
this
ice
sounds
cream, bro? What
gross.
the fuck? And also, they also put that synthetic milk, not real milk, like from a cow. They put that synthetic shit. You know that that's like literally bacteria can like how do you call them? That they can multiply in that synthetic milk, but they can in real milk. But the synthetic one
Really?
is cheaper, so they make more profits from it. So even though you can get different parasites from fucking eating that ice cream, they don't care about that. They care about the profit margins, of course. Bro,
Terrible.
that's fucking scary, bro. That bug just scared the shit out of me. But nah, honestly, it's we shouldn't look at it as just like, oh my god, we can't eat anything. Just like look for the best alternative. That's my opinion, because there are people who eat fucking McDonald's every day and they still live somehow, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe if you reduce your UPF, ultra processed foods, from 60% to 20%, bro, that's a big jump. That's way bigger
Yeah.
than most people think.
No, I agree with that. It's weird because like we agree all these foods are terrible, but you're right, because people, they can survive by maintaining these bad diets. But the problem is that these food creators or food production people, they want you to have the bare minimum of nutrients to survive.
Mm,
What I want is for people to have the amount they need to thrive and like be
mm,
strong, be healthy, and be good looking. That won't happen
bro,
on the McDonald's diet or the pasteurized milk
yeah.
diet.
That's crazy because people
Real
think that
foods.
in the 50s and the 60s it was, well, it was better, but it still wasn't good, because the first like real UPF, like the ultra processed food industry, really started in the 35s in England, and then it went in the US in the 50s, right? Then in Europe in the 60s. So already like 50 years back, it was still like a lot of processed shit. Just we weren't talking about it, but really
Mm,
like in the 40s, you were still kind of safe, yeah. But like even like 80 years ago, it was still like not perfect. Like people should really look at, did people have access to this food 100 years ago? Oreos? Probably not, bro. Probably
nah,
not. Like, let's be honest.
they did not.
So
The Oreos are not natural. You won't find them anywhere in nature except for Walmart
yeah,
or Kroger.
yeah. And especially if you gave it to like the primal people like a 4,000 years ago, an Oreo
Mhm.
cookie, they would be like, what the fuck is this? They would be like, it just tastes unnatural. Like, what is this? You know, even if
Mhm.
they couldn't really talk our language, you know, whatever. Like, imagine telling to a primal caveman that eating more than 3 eggs a week is unhealthy for you. Bro, he
It'll
would
probably
bash
teach you.
your he would
Yeah,
bash
yeah,
your
he's
skull in.
he would kill you.
Yeah.
You'd say this guy's a witch. This guy's promoting witchcraft. Get rid of him. He's trying to ruin our
Oh my
bloodline.
god. Yeah, bro. Like eating a deer or whatever, like they hunt down, bro. That was the way that people was supposed to eat. And I'd actually speculate that their testosterone would be way fucking higher, like 5 times, probably 4 times higher, maybe even
Oh,
more, to be honest.
100%.
Yeah, 100
I've
percent,
heard
bro.
I've heard like now like the average 20-year-old has the same testosterone levels like today as like a 70-year-old man from like the 80s or
No,
the
yeah,
60s.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I
It's
wouldn't be surprised at all, to be honest.
it's even wild because like when people will tell me my testosterone levels are like around. I've tested them and they're around 1,000, and they'll
Mm,
tell me, "Oh, that's too high. How'd you get it that high?" But the reality is, if you went back in time 70 years, that would literally be like
yeah,
normal, like
that would be
average.
normal.
So I feel like it can go even higher, like knowing that.
Yeah. And
So,
especially, bro, if your doctor tells you that your test is too high, bro, don't ever go to another fucking clinic. Don't get injected by anything he gives you. Like, he's literally trying to take it away, bro. If he says that your test is too high, look at him. Do you want to be like him? Because most doctors are fat. I can't understand how the example of health can be unhealthy. Like a fat guy with fucking diabetes. How can he be a doctor? I think
it's
that
crazy.
doctors should be only qualified, maybe not even having a six pack, but just be in normal shape. Like just not have any big health issues that are unfixable. You know?
It's important to practice what you preach. Like if you are the icon and the authority of health, you should at least look healthier than the average person.
Yeah. I don't understand how people can hate on RFK. Bro, RFK is the healthy 60, 70-year-old. How old is he? I don't know. But RFK is actually a very healthy man for his age. And people are hating on him.
He's in great. I'd love to be like in similar shape to him when I'm his age. Like he has,
bro.
looks like he has a six pack. He has pretty good muscle definition.
Yeah.
But the other people his age might be in nursing homes. So I like.
Like RFK. Bro, if you see the prime or the minister of health in England, that's fucking shameful. It's a fucking fat, obese woman that's like fucking 350 pounds, something like that. That's the minister of health there. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is not how it should be. It doesn't make sense. It seems like it's the minister of eating, not the minister of health.
Oh yeah, minister of pleasure, right? Minister of fucking good taste, not good health.
There you go. I'm even trying to encourage people in my family to like stay in shape because I don't know. This might sound crazy again. This is why if I introduce myself to a random person, they might call me crazy for what I'm about to say. But it's like it's almost selfish to me to be in bad shape because what you're doing is you're poisoning yourself and you're lessening the amount of time you'll have on earth with your family. And it's like if you truly love your family and the ones around you, you want to be your best version of yourself and spend as much time with them as possible. You wouldn't want to shorten your lifespan and increase the misery on others by being obese or overweight and causing problems, slowing down life.
And also another thing is like your future kids, bro. Like your kids, like actually, exactly. You know, people say that women during pregnancy should eat healthy, they shouldn't smoke or whatever, etc. But what about the men? In the book, again, the ultra-processed people, it says very clearly that even the guy like 6 months before even impregnating a woman, his DNA will go inside of the woman that then births the child. So like if the guy fucking smokes weed and eats McDonald's, like how can that positively impact the kid? Because you might think that, this little sperm can't really affect that health of the kid. Bro, that sperm carries the DNA of the dude. This is such a stupid argument that the little sperm doesn't do doesn't have any impact. That what's in the womb inside of the woman that makes a difference. Bro, a sperm from a black man or from a white man changes the color of the kid. How can it not have a difference? Like,
You're right.
Yeah.
People they don't think about these things. That's the problem. People they should question more and think more. The problem is they don't ask enough questions and they don't think enough. They kind of just follow what everybody else does, and that's how they got a lot of these problems.
Yeah. I want to ask you, man, what did you eat when you were a kid? Did you always like eat healthy, or were you always so brainwashed?
Actually, I really wasn't that healthy, which is kind of why I mentioned earlier that like I went from being a sick man to a strong man. Because I don't know if you saw, but like in the past, about 5 years ago, my testosterone levels were around 300, and I mentioned I've been training for 10 years. So like even after 5 years of lifting, I had around 300 tests.
Holy fuck!
So I had to make some other corrections in the diet and lifestyle, and that's what kind of put me on track to get to where I am today.
So what were you eating when you were like 15, 16?
It's hard. Honestly, it was probably just whatever they served at school lunches, and then maybe when I got home, I would either eat some like pizza or whatever leftovers we had at the house. But it was honestly probably just a diet, primarily a junk food. Like right now, my diet is very dialed in, but it wasn't like this when I started my journey though. Back then I was eating whatever. Literally, I would eat whatever.
Man, I don't even want to imagine what the American school lunch, whatever, looks like, man. Like what they serve there.
Holy it's prison food. It might actually be worse than prison food.
Holy fuck, man. That just seems scary, man.
No, it's not the
Because
greatest.
also, like, they serve to so many children that they want to save as much money as possible, so they pick the cheapest foods, right? And the cheapest
Yep.
foods are the cheapest quality with the most fucking shit ingredients, the cheapest ones, because the companies want to make as much profit. So then obviously the health of the children won't be the best.
Hmm. It's a kind of a shame that they also treat those school lunches, at least in my school, they treat it like a business.
Mm,
And it is a shame. It's like, why are we corporatizing or making a business out of just feeding kids who are trying to learn?
yeah,
Feed those kids so they can learn. Why do you got to
yeah.
profit at every single corner?
I don't know what about in the US, but here in my school, I remember when I was like 15, our lunches cost like $1.20 per lunch, I
It's
think.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
we paid like something like $40 a month for a lunch. So obviously they had to divide
Yeah.
that, and per kid was like $1 and something, right? And what good can come out of a dollar? Because for that dollar, right, we had a food and we had a soup every day. I don't know what's like in the US, but I always had a soup and then a food, right? Then probably some cheap tea or water or whatever from the tap, right? So it's like, yeah, this is a broke country, but bro, for $1.20, you can't get proper like healthy food. Like that's impossible, man. Like
Yeah.
just if they serve just
It's
five
true.
boiled eggs, just 5 boiled eggs, that would do so much better than the fucking. We had bread and pork, for example. That was just pork is obviously the worst type of meat that you can get, but it's still
Yeah.
better than no
Cut that
meat.
out.
But like, yeah,
Wait, any more pork?
yeah, bro. Pork has so many parasites in it, and pork has so much bad stuff in it. Man, holy shit! I don't even know where to start with pork. Like people,
Yeah, it's
yeah. And
terrible.
when I transferred to beef and chicken, that's like probably the best. But beef is obviously the best. But I know that
Yeah.
some people like say that beef is expensive, etc. Bro, chicken or turkey is still better. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's still better than pork. Like it's still better than nothing. Or
It's
eggs.
also like people they got to kind of start viewing like the money they spend on their food is probably their best
Mm,
investment. That's the thing that's keeping
yeah,
you alive and like how alive you feel. Like sure you can kind of
yeah.
go into a car dealership and get the cheapest car possible, but when it breaks down later, are you going to be surprised?
Mm,
They should take that same logic to their food because if you buy the
yeah.
cheapest food later or while you're eating and your body starts to have these problems, like it's because you cheaped out. You should have
Yeah.
actually got the higher quality stuff so you could last longer.
Yeah, and especially, bro, like the money they are gonna spend on doctors and shit with the health problems
Yeah,
10 years from now, bro, you didn't save shit. You actually
exactly.
lost
You,
more
you
money.
thought you thought the beef was expensive. Your doctor's about to come for your house, bro.
Yeah, man.
He's
Like
about
fucking,
to put your whole family in debt.
bro, kidney failure at 45 and then the surgeries that come with it, bro, that's not cheap as nothing. And you could have prevented that if you just ate eggs and meat, and even if you don't want to do carnivore, even if you want to be vegetarians or whatever, potatoes, I don't know what else is healthy. I don't know. Like normal real food with one ingredient. You know, like people don't think about the amount of meals that you eat, but amount of ingredients. If you read the ingredient list on a pizza, bro, all of those ingredients, why does it have emulgators in it? Why does it have glue? You know that I forgot what it was. I think it was hot dogs that had literally glue in them in the
It's
ingredients.
disgusting.
Glue. Like that's
Gross.
fucking nasty. Glue, because I actually don't even know why the fuck would they put glue in it, but that's fucking nasty.
It's terrible. I try to just like at least like 90 or 95% of the time I try to just eat my own groceries and I'll keep my meals down to single ingredient foods like I'll
Mm,
have some beef, some honey, cook it
yeah,
in some natural butter, not that weird
yeah.
synthetic oils or vegetable oil. I also slight tangent. I had a funny conversation with my dad. Like we were talking about cooking food, and I was telling him I love using like butter to cook, and he says he likes to use vegetable oil. And I told him what vegetable is it, and like he started laughing. But I was like, no, seriously, what vegetable is inside vegetable oil? And he said I don't know. Like, that's a good question. I never thought about that. This is how they get people. They'll state. Yeah.
A lot of the olive oils are actually derived from like engine oil, which is like fucking disgusting. Like maybe like, it's
Yeah.
like
The sweet
less than
oils.
1%, but you do still want that You know, like people do, if they do just a little bit of digging into it, you'll just see what really contains in those foods. But people are just like, they don't even question kind of like, oh, I'm sure that fucking Walmart has the best interest for my health. Like, I'm sure they're not owned by the Jews and they don't care about profit margins. They just care about the real well-being of their people. Yeah, sure. And I'm not even American, and I don't even have Walmart here.
Can we pause real quick? Can we I don't want to be that guy, but can we avoid mentioning those people?
Yeah, of
just
course,
because,
bro. No
yeah,
problem.
just because I'm in a position where my I mentioned how like I'm one of 5 boys. My 3 older brothers have all kind of like built companies and startups in the tech sector. One of them is it's actually like an AI chatbot that joins Zoom meetings and records notes and transcribes it. And he started it about like 10-ish years ago, and now it's worth like $1 billion valuation.
Holy shit.
But a lot of the investors are those people, so I don't want to get the investors mad if I said the wrong thing. It almost feels like even like I'm almost limited in what I can say with my content, because there's certain people I want to call out. Like Bill Gates is one of the big ones, but but it might impact their business relationship. So it almost feels like I can't speak on it.
Yeah, man, that's okay, bro. Hey, listen, I absolutely understand that, because like it seems like a lot of people just get in trouble for that shit. So like that's the absolutely understand. I wanted to talk about how much percent, if you had put in percentages, how much would you say is training versus that? So like, is it like 50-50? Is it like 60-40? How much is food and how much is training?
I'm thinking it might honestly be, I've heard before it's 80% diet, 20% training. And the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense. It's all training. Diet doesn't matter. But I feel like it really is more so diet, because in my own training, I only train like maybe 3 or 4 days a week. And during those 3 or 4 days, I might be in the gym for like 2 hours or something like that. So on my other days off, like I'm not training. But what I need to focus on the most during my off days is my diet keeping me on track. So that's the thing. Like you can afford to kind of take it easy, train maybe half of the week. You can't actually afford to have a crappy diet for half the week. You always need your diet to be on point. So that's why for me, it's definitely diet is more important than just training, because at the end of the day, your training can only kind of complement your diet. If you're eating McDonald's burgers 24/7, unless you're on like roids, it's going to be hard to have a decent physique.
Like people, the most common way people are trying to lose weight is by doing a shit ton of cardio and going to the gym 7 times a week, etc. Not realizing, bro, like if you train hypertrophy 7 times a week, that only increases your cortisol, which then lowers your test, and you're really not giving your body that much time to recover. And honestly, if you're still eating like shit, you can't outwork a bad diet, because the amount of calories you can eat in 10 minutes, you cannot burn off in 10 minutes of cardio, even if you ran for your fucking life. Okay? So, but actually, people can be healthy or lose weight without going to the gym. Obviously, you're not going to be jacked, but you're going to be like at a healthy body weight. You might not have muscle, even if you eat 200 grams of protein a day, because you don't, that protein doesn't go to the muscle if it's not stimulated. But you're going to be a healthier person. However, yeah, even if somebody trains once or twice a week, and they eat like really fucking healthy, within 2 years, they will have a decent amount of muscle, even if they don't train that hard. So that's one thing that I kind of overlooked in my first year of training. I was eating fucking cereal with milk and fucking biscuits and everything, like dirty bulking.
Now we didn't know any better.
Yeah, bro, I was 15, bro.
Dude, I was eating hot dogs, some random nonsense, some ramen noodles. We didn't know any better, man. We didn't know any better.
You know what? As a European, I always liked American culture, and I always try to eat like the American types of foods. Here in Europe, they sell a lot of the American style foods, you know, like trying to copy the Americans, whatever, because those sell a lot. It's like the type of hot dogs that look like the American from American movies, the mustard in the same like package. That if you Google European mustard or European ketchup versus American ketchup, it looks completely different, and the ingredients are probably different. But I always bought those American style stuff, And man, I'm looking back at it, that was such shit a lot of times, man.
At least we know now. The thing is, we can't change the past, but at least we can learn from it
Yeah,
and change the
and
future. It's the beauty of
really,
it.
it's not really about, bro. You have healthy options in any country. It's not about a country. It's about the decisions. Because, bro, every store has something healthy. You can
Yep.
find meat that just has one ingredient, which is meat. Like, literally, I don't understand how they can sell like beef patties, but it has colorants in it and it has sugar in it in meat.
Disgusting.
Colorants and sugar in meat. 80% meat. I don't understand. It should be 100% meat. I don't understand that. Or in ground beef.
Common sense somehow became uncommon. Is what happened.
Oh my god, bro. And bro,
Not
like
common.
my mom one day she went shopping. And bro, this is why I do my own shopping. But my mom bring me home like beef patties, and she said, I said, nah, mom, I'm not eating this. This is like completely like artificial bullshit. And she was like, why? It's 92% meat. And I'm like, 92%? What's the 8%, bro?
Yeah. What is the 8%? What's the other 8?
Oh man.
We don't actually know.
I want to ask you this. Because I know obviously that neither one of us likes the vegan diet, but is there any way in which you could make the vegan diet kinda healthy?
Here's the thing, because I'm doing like right now I'm doing my current 36 egg yolk experiment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to experiment with more diets. Like after this egg diet, I want to try like a raw milk diet where maybe I drink a gallon of raw milk every day or a half gallon. And at some point, I'm even open to trying potentially like a not vegan diet, but cutting out like meats. I'd be down to try that for a few weeks and see what impact it has on my body, because it'd be interesting, like what would actually happen to our bodies if we try that diet. Long term, I feel like the best kind of diet is one that's balanced, because even if we kind of go back to the Bible, like Jesus himself, he ate fish, he ate meats.
Yeah.
He seemed to do it pretty all right to his
Yeah,
health.
bro.
So
Yeah, a lot of times
I
people
think
should
balance
just
is the key.
yeah, people like even like religions like Islam, bro, they have like good principles like not eating pork, not gambling, and not drinking. How can
Yeah.
that be bad? Now, obviously, they might do some things you don't agree with, but whatever, bro. Like, I'm Christian, but I can respect Muslims, and people like just completely like disrespect people just for their, even like not religions or whatever, but just their beliefs. Like, I believe that eating healthy is like a basic need to be human. I can think you're subhuman if you're like literally eating fucking cereal and milk every day. Like, come on, bro. Choco Pops, Nesquik, or whatever. Like, bro, come on.
I think a lot of Christians would benefit if they try to adopt their diet and kind of model it on what the Old Testament had in terms of its dietary restrictions were. Because even in the Old Testament, it tells you not to eat pork. It tells you not to eat crab and not to eat shrimp. And anytime you kind of hear someone getting like food poisoning or food sickness, usually it's because they ate shrimp or some kind of seafood.
Yeah, I never tried shrimp. I don't even know what it tastes like.
No, you're not missing out on much. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people would benefit if they just model their diet on the Old Testament, and that's what I do. Like I've cut out a lot of foods, like no pork, no clams, no crab, no catfish, and a lot of other things are on that list. But the Bible literally calls them like abominations, and I feel pretty good since not eating them.
Yo, there was one bodybuilder, but I forgot his name. Fuck sakes, man. Maybe you will know him, but I think in the 80s probably. He was prepping for a competition, but he ran out of money in the last like 3 weeks. So he killed his horse, and he was eating horse meat for the past 3 weeks. And he
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't Mr. Olympia or nothing like that, but it was a smaller bodybuilder. But I don't know if you've heard about that, man, but I forgot his name. That's the thing that pisses me off. Maybe someone in the comments will know who I'm talking about, or I might research it, but bro. I remember when I heard this story from I think Tom Platz talked about that once on an interview. And bro, when I talk about it, like horse meat cannot, I'm just thinking like, I understand like maybe if someone wants to eat like fucking elk or wants to eat like this niche type meat, but like bro, horse, I don't think I'd eat the horse, bro.
Yeah, it seems kind of messed up. It's such a beautiful animal that feels like it shouldn't be killed. But what I've heard something along those lines that you mentioned. Like I don't know what bodybuilder it was either, but I do remember hearing something special about like eating a horse's meat. Pause.
What?
Apparently, it's more anabolic than like other
Uh,
animals. I guess the horse is such a powerful animal. It's meant to run
I mean,
and
yeah. If
explode
you
with
if
all
you
that
look at
power.
the horse's leg, bro, that motherfucker has quads
Yeah,
bigger than Tom Platz.
like you would not want to get
Yeah.
kicked by a horse, otherwise you
Oh,
might get a
people
dent in
get
your body.
killed by getting kicked by
Yeah,
a
yeah.
horse.
They're strong animals.
Yeah.
So maybe I know at least in the U.S. I think you're banned. You're not allowed to eat horses. But
Yeah.
I'm
And
pretty
bro, also
sure.
if you look at a horse's meat, bro, that thing is like 15 inches, bro. Like holy shit.
I'm not looking down there. I'm looking at the macros. I'm looking at
Yo,
the.
also the animal with the most testosterone is actually I think bull shark. They have like
Really?
35,000 nanograms per deciliter.
Jeez.
35,000. People struggle to get 1,000. This motherfucker has 35,000.
Maybe
Like,
that's the key for diet. I know. I don't know if you ever played Grand Theft Auto, but back then they had something called bull shark testosterone as
oh
like a
yeah,
farmer or
maybe
something.
the name came from, bro. Back in
Yeah,
2013.
that's probably it, honestly.
Yeah, but like I don't know if like they sell shark meat online or somewhere, bro. But like, I wonder what that would taste like. Shark
I
meat.
wonder. I'm not sure what the
Hmm.
Bible says about sharks. It might be safe to eat them.
But
Might have to look into
like,
that one.
if you even think about it, if you eat animals with high testosterone, like it actually does have a lot of impact. Like if you eat beef liver, like from a bull, but the liver has more cholesterol than eggs, which is crazy. But it tastes like shit. But liver is actually like one of the best possible like foods in terms of test. Liver and egg yolks.
Mm.
But the liver, I've heard like it has really a fucking huge amounts of cholesterol. Also,
Yeah.
that's
I think
beef
the
liver.
liver produces like 80% of your body's cholesterol, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that makes sense. And also, it's one more thing is like bear liver. Don't ask me how I know this stuff, but bear liver can kill you if you eat it too much because it's
Is that
literally
from
like
vitamin A poisoning?
I think so, it's poisoning of something. But like if you eat too much bear liver, like even half of it or something like that, it will kill you, which
Yeah,
is
I
like
think it might be
kind of
the
interesting.
like a vitamin A overload might be what it is because the liver has like
Mm.
it's very very concentrated in those
Mm.
that one vitamin. I think I've heard of that
Yeah.
before. As well.
Yeah. That's really interesting, bro. Also, like people don't like dark chocolate, but dark chocolate, like the 90% to 100% one, that's an aphrodisiac. So if you have before you have eggs or maybe after you have eggs, you eat one piece, just one square of dark chocolate, like 90 to 100%, bro, that will skyrocket your test with the cholesterol. Like that
I'm
will
gonna have to
literally
try
boost
that
your
actually.
hormones.
I might have to try that.
I've been eating dark chocolate for a while. That makes a
Is
lot of
it
sense. I
bitter?
think. Do you know who Hamza is?
Yeah, yeah. The he's the YouTube content creator, right? Or different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hamza spoke about pomegranate juice, dark chocolate, and
Oh, that's
eggs.
a
Like
big
this,
one.
yeah, like the combination of these three things, he said that is like the best breakfast for test or something like that.
Yeah, I should
He
try to
also
add.
he also had
What?
something what he called was a boner shake. Like before his girlfriend would come, like the night before he would make an like a protein shake basically where he would put raw milk, like 3 or 4 eggs, and he would put some pomegranate juice in that, and he would mix that up, and he would eat a little bit of dark chocolate. Went to sleep. His body with proper 8 to 9 hours of sleep would produce a shit ton of testosterone, and he said that that's
Definitely.
like the best hit of PR for in the gym or when your girl comes around, stuff like that. So it's like maybe that's something. Think
Yeah,
about. He
maybe.
actually he said he did that before his fight. We had his first kickboxing fight, and he knocked the
Yeah.
guy the fuck out,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy. He actually did
Yeah,
what he said. I'd
yeah,
like to
bro.
try that drink out at some point because it seems like it makes a lot of sense. One of my friends
Yeah,
told me about how good pomegranate juice was as well for
mm.
testosterone. So I
Bro.
definitely want to try that.
But honestly, raw milk tastes like shit, bro. Like I know it's
You should,
healthy, but I
you should
hate
raw milk.
raw milk. Oh,
You should try to add honey to it. That could improve the flavor.
I don't like honey either, bro. Like it's too
Really?
fucking
Dang,
sweet,
that's
bro.
a
I
double
never ate
negative.
honey. Yeah,
Dang,
it's
bro.
just like these are the two things that, bro, like I can't really stomach. Like I tried raw milk a
That's
couple of
crazy.
times, and I just if I drink too much of it, it's just like, it's like I burp and I feel that fucking taste in my mouth, and it's just like disgusting for me. Like I don't like raw milk for some reason, so I'm just gonna stick to eggs and dark chocolate for now, man. But even
Yeah.
beef, like liver, bro, I can't eat liver alone. So I always like put liver in the ground beef. I mix it up somehow. I put some tomato paste. That's like probably the best sauce you can get because it's usually like one or two ingredients, which is the best option. And I just somehow like eat the liver, but I don't like the liver itself. Like if I
Yeah.
eat some pieces of liver alone, that tastes like shit, bro.
That also makes me realize a big part of my diet is like at some point, because I'm kind of eating some crazy things like drinking eggs and stuff like that. I kind of
Mm.
took the taste factor out of the equation, and I just try to view what is the impact
Mm.
of eating. So what does eating this do for my body? Because
Mm.
like I might go somewhere like McDonald's and it might taste amazing, but
Oh yeah.
it could be destroying my body. So I just try to focus more on what it does for me, and I try to make it
Bro,
taste good if I can. But
you know what
sometimes
I
you
was
gotta.
doing, bro? When I was powerlifting, I was trying to be the heaviest I can be. I went up to 190 pounds, and I'm like 5'11".
Yeah.
But
How much do you weigh now, by the way?
huh?
How much do you weigh now? Right now?
Now I weigh 175. So
Yeah.
like,
Drop 20.
yeah, something like that. But like, I would go to McDonald's, buy two beef, like those hamburgers without cheese, not cheeseburgers. And I just look at the macros, thinking that it's real meat or some shit, right? I would just literally like go to McDonald's like every other day or after my workouts, and literally put it in the macros and thinking that I'm making progress. I'm getting that protein in. Whereas, bro, two hamburgers from McDonald's with one small beef patty, which God knows what's in there. Holy shit, dude! Like, I don't know what the fuck was I thinking, man. Oh yeah, man. If it fits your macros, that mentality.
I'm trying to get. There's a friend of mine who he's pretty wealthy. So like for him, he can't make any excuse in terms of spending money on food to save money or because it's too expensive or whatever. But for some reason, he still chooses to go to McDonald's. Like
Oh
he's
no.
making so much money, but he still chooses to like go to McDonald's and to get beef from there. And I
Mm,
don't trust their meat. I don't trust
yeah.
it at all. I've heard all sorts of crazy rumors. I don't know if any of them are valid or not, but I just don't trust it, and I would not eat there. And I tell him
Mm.
that, but he really believes that there's not a difference. And
The
I
only thing
promise
that
you,
I would have at McDonald's would be an espresso. That's it.
I wouldn't even want that. I'll get the espresso, throw it in the trash.
Oh man, I mean, what can you fuck up with an espresso, bro? Like, unless they put sugar and milk into it, it could be
Hmm.
safe. But yeah, I haven't been to McDonald's in quite a while, bro. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because
Um,
there's also another thing is that what's it called? Like I was looking at eggs specifically, and I don't know if you saw, but I tried my little 36 egg diet experiment for like
mhm.
2 weeks. I got a blood test result, and I stopped because my testosterone levels went down. And some people were telling me it might be because the eggs I was using were fed on like a soy and
Mm,
corn based diet, like a
yeah.
diet with kind of crappy foods just to save costs. So if that applies to chickens, like imagine how that applies to say a cow
Uh,
that goes to McDonald's that probably never saw sunlight for
yeah.
even one day of its life
That
and
has a
was
big
maybe
impact too. Like, we
yeah
have homegrown chickens, right? So like, I'm blessed with that. Like, we have like 30 chickens, like my dad
you're a
has in the
lucky man.
backyard. So it's like
You
we
gotta
have
thank
whole,
God every
bro.
day, man. You're a lucky man.
I literally have 3 eggs. Like, our fridge is full always with eggs, and
And
like every couple of weeks, like we also like kill a chicken, and like eat it, whatever. It's like I eat the chicken so carefree, but I would like to buy a cow. But bro, when I looked at the prices of a cow costs like 3 or 4 grand. Holy
yeah,
shit! Pay
but
like four thousand
it'll
dollars
feed you
for a
for a
cow.
year though. It'll feed you
Yeah,
for a whole entire year though. It's crazy then.
yeah, bro.
You get 1,000 pounds
Also,
of meat or 500 pounds. All those
uh,
organs too.
oh yeah, now I think about it, yeah. But also, bro, butchering, bro. I wouldn't want to do that myself, bro.
Nah, you gotta let a professional do that.
That would be like a whole day of work, like a fucking 12-hour shift with a fucking
You
cow, bro.
you'd smell bad for a while too. You could
Oh,
try to
bro.
shower after or wash your hands, but the blood probably soaks in your hands.
Yeah, man.
I'll
Yo,
leave it to the professionals because it's somebody's
bro.
job.
One time, my dad. I come from an Eastern European country, so we used to do this. But when they killed the pork, right, and they were butchering with my uncle, bro. Oh my god, this story is so fucking funny. My dad literally was like cutting down his legs, etc. and he just cut down something, and it started splashing at him, but it wasn't blood, it was piss.
What?
So the blood, the pork piss, basically, I don't know, I suppose his dick or something he cut off or something like
You said
that.
it was by the leg, you said?
Yeah, between the legs, I suppose. So he was butchering the pork. It just splashed piss in at him. So it's like the pork, I guess, didn't go for a piss before he was killed. And bro,
Yeah.
when I looked at that, it was like, bro, my dad, bro, that piss was splashing for like 20 seconds, bro.
That's hilarious. Do you want to hear something else interesting about pigs that you may have not heard before?
What?
You might know this already, but pigs aren't able, like they're not able to sweat. Like the way that we do toxin naturally is we can sweat
Yeah.
and we'll lose toxins through our sweat.
Yeah.
But for pigs, like they can't sweat, their skin can't sweat. So the way nature kind of dissolved the solution is in each of the pig's legs, there's literally like a sewage line through which the pig's able to excrete waste like through its legs directly to the ground.
Yeah.
So like the pig is so disgusting, so dirty that nature had to evolve like 4 different sewage tracts through each of their legs, in addition to them like taking craps
and
or
people
vomiting.
eat the pigs like fucking legs and
It's
stuff like that too.
It's crazy, and like a lot of the excess toxins just get stored in the pig's fat and flesh because that's what fat's purpose is. So it's so gross that people couldn't be me.
When he talked about sweating, yeah, doing workouts is nice and all, but saunas actually are very good for like sweating, etc. But one tip about the saunas, because I couldn't name all the benefits, but I think that most people already know them. However, your balls always would get overheated in there, and that would like kill your test because it kills your sperm, etc. in your balls. So always, what I would do when I'd get into a sauna is always I put a wet towel, like I drench a towel in cold water, put it on, sit on it, right? So like my balls keep cool in those 15-20 minutes that I'm in the sauna. So
that's smart.
That's like one thing that
that's
I got
a good pro tip, honestly. That's a great pro tip. I could save some people's testosterone because I never thought of that. I've only used the sauna once ever, but I'm going to use saunas more in the future. It's just because my gym never really had one. But when I do use saunas in the future, I'm going to do what you said. I appreciate you for sharing that because I'm not going to forget that. I always sit down on a wet towel for a sauna.
Yeah, man. Also, I don't understand why people wear underwear when they're just at home, you know? I just wear shorts, but I don't wear underwear under it, bro. Like, it's like, I'm just at home. Like, I don't care, you know? But it's like, let it breathe down there. Holy shit. Or people that sleep in underwear and pajamas over it. Like, your body doesn't breathe. Like, I sleep naked, bro. It's like your body breathes during sleep. And also, like, people that are scared of cold showers, etc. Like, I fucking hated it from the beginning, but I kind of got used to it over a while. But your body needs to keep cool, not just like down there, but your body is just so overheated nowadays. I have a fan and I have my window open and I'm in a tank top and I'm still fucking hot as fuck, bro. It's like, it's 25 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. I got no fucking idea how much that is, but it's fucking hot.
That's pretty warm. Yeah.
And it's like 6 p.m. close on here, so yeah.
6.
What state are you from?
A warrior.
What state are you from?
I've tried. What's up?
What state are you from?
I'm from New Jersey. It's in the Northeast. It's like next to New York.
Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the weather there?
Here it's pretty hot too. I went to the beach yesterday. I don't know the Celsius equivalent, but it was about like 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that sounds like a lot.
It's probably at least 24 degrees Celsius is my guess, but I don't know the exact conversion.
Yeah, the thing is, bro, from kilos to pounds is easy because 2.2 pounds is 1 kilo. But with Fahrenheit, I don't know why the fuck, like 90 Fahrenheit would probably be like 30 Celsius, but 60 Fahrenheit would be 0 Celsius. Like that big of a difference. Like we can't mathematically calculate it, so we always have to go on Google to transfer it. That's so stupid. Like 0 Fahrenheit is like minus 40 Celsius. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, it's like, so, why didn't they make it like 1 Fahrenheit is 0.5 Celsius or whatever, you know? Like, make it so that people can just do it in a calculator, you know? Like, so.
There's a chance that the U.S. made its own system just to make people dumber. Because the metric system just makes a lot more sense. Like, at least for Celsius, to my understanding, at 0 degrees Celsius, water freezes. At
Yeah.
100 degrees Celsius, water boils.
Yeah.
I can't tell you which two Fahrenheits. I know it's like
Yeah.
30 something degrees Fahrenheit, it freezes. 200 something Fahrenheit, it boils.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't it just be 0 to 100 and keep things simple?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
another thing. But I kind of understand with pounds and kilos, that's like kind of easy to like do, etc. It's like
It's not a
yeah.
bad conversion. It
Yeah,
just
it's
seems
like
more complex because for the metric system, it's all base 10, like
mm,
kilograms, decograms, milligrams.
yeah.
But for us, we got pounds, ounces, troy ounces. Apparently, a troy ounce and an
Oh,
ounce are different. It doesn't make any sense to
bro.
me.
I wouldn't want to be in American school, bro. Holy shit.
The math was complicated. It's
Yeah.
there's a reason. It's funny actually. Like in science class, they don't use the U.S. numbers. That's when they switch to the metric system. That's when they say, hey, let's do
Mhm.
meters because it actually makes it easier to calculate stuff.
Also,
Yeah.
America wants to be so individualized. You can, with a European driver's license, you can drive in the UK, you can drive in Australia, you can drive in some parts of
Really?
Asia, but you can't drive in the US. You have to have a US license, which is so
That's
fucking weird. Because
I didn't even know that.
you can literally, with a European license, you can't drive in England when they drive on the other side of the road. But you can still drive with a European license, but you can't drive in the US. Like, bro, I don't understand that. That's like so fucking. That's the thing that I'm doing my driver's license here, and it's not that hard, bro. When I ever go to, I want to go to Miami. That's like the first place I want to go to when I come to the US, bro.
Inspirational city. You'll see a lot of Lambos out there.
Yeah, but when I think about, bro, doing the American driver school, bro, it just seems so fucking pointless, man. You drive on the same side of the road, like it's like maybe because of the metrics or whatever, but you know, like 60 miles an hour is 100 kilometers an hour, and you can do that math equation over and over again. Miles, also kilometers and like meters and feet, etc. Like you can do that calculation in your head. Just the Fahrenheit and Celsius. That's the only thing. But you don't use that whilst driving. Really.
That was some witch magic stuff. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Did you ever think about using gear?
Never, honestly. Because everything I do in my weightlifting journey, even my diet, and I want to live like as long and as healthy as possible. And if I take gear, to me, that's doing the opposite. At that point, I'm kind of trading my later years of life for maybe an initial burst of energy now, but I'd rather have that long sustained success than a short burn of success and then end up like Ronnie Coleman in a wheelchair or having a heart attack.
But that's kind of like a crazy level, let's be honest. Ronnie like was blasting it a little too much, bro. Like he was going crazy with it.
True. Yeah. I think his problem was he was also lifting too much weight.
Yeah.
Because someone like Tom Platz, they may have had a similar dose. His legs were probably better, but he also used way less weight, so that's why he can still walk around and still be a G.
Yeah, if you look at people like Kevin LeBron, he's still perfectly healthy even now. Man, he's like 50s, I think. All right, and Kevin LeBron.
I always wondered after they blast steroids, do they stay on TRT like indefinitely, or is he just? I
think they probably stay on HRT. I think, not TRT.
Yeah, that's the problem because even that to me is a cop out because he's not healthy. Because if he stops taking HRT, he's gonna probably grow tits, like literally.
Yeah, like Greg Doucette too. Like he was blasting pretty much testosterone. He's healthy to this day, but he's still on like 140 milligrams. He said, but he's open about it. He's very open about it.
You can't stop those within like. As cool it is, they'll say they're still healthy, but they can't. They're actually like they're kind of stuck having to inject themselves to stay healthy. And to me, that goes against being healthy. Like you should be able to function normally without having to inject stuff like every single week.
What's like a meal that people think is unhealthy, but it's actually pretty good for you, apart from eggs? Is there like something that people are scared of, or like people say that it's bad for you, but it's actually good?
Give me a second to think on that, because I'm sure I can find. Maybe to me, the most intuitive one would probably be like either red meat or just like fat, like butter in general.
Oh,
people think that fats are. They hear the word fat and they think, oh, if I eat fat, it'll make me fat.
No.
And to me, that doesn't seem to be the case. Like I've seen people eat less fat than me, but they're still much fatter than me.
Yeah. Also, like the thing, the low fat stuff, they just replace it with carbs, with simple carbs. You know, it's like, Yeah, man.
No, I
So,
think that'd be like between either butter or red meat, because especially red
mm,
meat, like they'll
that's
say
good for
things
you.
in the U.S. like red meat causes heart disease, red meat causes cancer, and the way they conduct those studies, it's a little bit shady if you
Mm,
ask me. Um,
yeah.
but it's
It's
also funny
also
because like the same people that produce those studies, they'll be the ones eating the red meat. It almost seems like they want
nah.
other people to not eat red meat so they can have it at a cheaper price or something.
Yeah, maybe. But also, like, it's about the people's lifestyles, man. Like, you can eat red meat all you want, but if you're fucking smoking weed, like, you're not gonna live
Exactly.
long, right? It's like people, like, a lot of you don't have to be perfect, but a lot of things should come together and make sense, like why you're doing it, right? For like
I agree
drinking
with that.
beer, you can eat a lot of eggs, etc. But if you drink beer every night, you drink like two bottles of beer. Within like 15, 20 years, your liver is gonna be suffering. Doesn't matter like what
Sure.
you eat.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Maybe you
Oh
can
yeah,
take the first 100 cuts, but the next 900, they
yeah.
won't actually you won't be able to shake those off
Yo,
as easily.
I actually think I told this story before, but I have one uncle. He's like in his late 50s, but this dude he drinks beer like it's water, like he doesn't drink water because he says that water you're supposed to wash in water, not drink it. So he doesn't drink water, and I've never seen him sober. I don't think so. I was one time with my other uncle out. We were grilling or something like that. And this one guy, this uncle, the older one, he literally like was spitting, was like having to cough because he was also a smoker, also drinking. But he coughed out a red piece, something red. So he looked at it, he picked it up, and he said, "Is this my liver?" He spit out a piece of his liver. That's how
That's
bad
crazy.
his. He was drinking for like 30 years, right? Every day, basically drinking beer. In his fridge, you see like 40 bottles of beer just every time. You know,
Disgusting.
yeah. He spit out a piece of his liver. That's how fucked up it is, bro.
Terrible. He was destroying his temple. He was
Nasty.
destroying his body.
Nasty, bro. Holy shit. I'm like,
See that
drink
our body's a
water.
temple. We gotta keep our bodies pure and strong.
Yeah. Holy shit. Man, if you could give only 3 tips to test maxing, what would be the three more most important ones?
Hmm. Try to optimize sleep is probably number one. Like good sleep is will give you the biggest bang for your buck, I think.
Uh,
The second one is gonna this might lose you. This might sound controversial, but for me, the second one would be semen retention, at least in my personal
oh.
experience. Is that something you've heard of before or familiar with?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, bet. For those who don't know, it's kind of like no fap, but one step further, you cut out porn and you cut out like any kind of release, and that is semen retention
Mm.
essentially. So between my top three, I'd say, what's it called? Sleep number one, semen retention number two, number three for testosterone optimization. Probably just eating clean is my guess.
Mm.
Like ideally a diet that has either red meat or some other like testosterone producing foods would be the biggest bang
I'd
for the buck, I think.
I'd honestly just say eat like a caveman. Eat what cavemen ate, basically.
There you go.
They had
That'll do it too.
eggs, they had chicken, they had cows, they had deer. They didn't have protein shakes, chocolate flavored protein shakes. They didn't have that.
I don't
You
use
know?
protein shakes, by the way. I haven't had one in like
Me
over a year.
neither. Me
It,
neither, bro. Me neither. Holy
I
shit.
feel we look pretty good. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
our
like
gut health is probably better than most protein shake drinkers as well.
yeah,
Exactly.
bro. Like I'd say that there's this one company I've heard a friend of mine talk about, but I didn't try it. And I don't think I really need to because I don't have a problem with getting my protein in. But there's just one company, but it's only in America and Canada. Unfortunately, it's not for here available for me in Europe. But it's called Naked Way, and it's literally I don't even know what's the ingredients, but I've heard like it has really low ingredients, etc., unflavored.
Yeah.
Naked whey and naked creatine. But honestly, if you eat a lot of beef, like okay, maybe creatine kind of I can understand unflavored one, but whey, honestly, I don't trust it. Even if it's like a good company, I still wouldn't take that to be honest.
Yeah. What's interesting is I mentioned like I haven't had any protein powder or protein shakes in like a year, but as part of this egg diet, I actually will have to, I think, reintroduce it because Vincent Gironda mentioned like as part of his egg diet, the way he would produce or the way he would drink the eggs is he would kind of crack open the 12 eggs into a blender. He would
Mm.
add one banana for taste. He would also add some like half and half, and I think I can replace that with raw milk. Um, but he also said he used a milk and egg protein powder, which
Yeah.
apparently is like old style protein where they made it out of
Mm.
just milk and just eggs. But they don't really
Yeah.
sell much anymore. And
Yeah, but
apparently
that's
its
not
benefit was
like
that
the modern like chocolate flavor, vanilla flavor protein shake. So it's not like we're like a protein shake. So yeah, I get what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about the milk and egg protein is apparently like the way eggs work is that your body can digest them very fast. So the egg protein powder will get digested and released pretty fast, but the milk protein
Mm.
powder takes longer to digest. So the
Mm.
theory is that if you use milk and egg protein powder, you combine both like the
Mm.
fast digestion and the long term digestion, and there's like no window where you're not getting some protein
Mm.
optimization. It sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. What do you think Greg Doucette would say about you?
Honestly, that's a good question. I don't know. I think he would say I'm natty. I don't look that crazy. My stats aren't insane.
Yeah. No, I
My skin
actually
looks pretty healthy.
I don't think that he would say you're natty, bro. I think he would call you not natty, to be honest. When you look at your physique, bro, I don't think that he would call you like natty.
I'll say the physique is crazy, but like think about it this way: like everybody you know that takes gear, like well maybe not. Let's say they don't use it as much as the Trend Twins, but they kind of age prematurely. Like you told me you saw
Mm.
me and you thought I was like 18 or 19, so
Yeah.
my face still looks young.
Ah, yeah.
But I'm 24 years old, so that's even one more
Yeah.
test for why I'm not on gear because I might look 30 by now if I was on gear.
Yeah. Also, you're like the Black Mike Thurston, if you think about it.
Thurston, that name sounds familiar, but I don't know
Mike
exactly.
Thurston is the guy that everybody still to this day calls him a not natty, but he's 33 and he showed blood work and everything, so he is natty. But nobody, he literally have like has like the perfect physique for a white man. So it's like everybody calls him fake
Wait,
natty. If you look at
is
Mike
that Mike?
Thurston,
You mean Mike O'Hearn or?
no, Mike O'Hearn, he's not natty. Mike Thurston, Mike O'Hearn is in his 40s.
You're
That
telling
guy
me
is not natty.
you're telling me it's not natural to behind the back press 315
Yeah.
pounds? I'll do
Yeah.
it once if I train enough and eat enough protein powder. I'll be able to do it. Trust me. Trust me.
Now The Rock and Mike O'Hearn like are the biggest fake natties like in the industry. The Rock too, bro. These guys never showed any blood work, even from history. Like that's crazy.
That's even that's a one more reason why I can't do roids because I'm kind of working on pivoting away from just doing pure gym style content. I want to do more health based content. Like I want the gym stuff to be just one piece of my puzzle because I'm always going to do the gym stuff, but I feel like the overall health stuff can have a bigger impact overall.
Yeah.
And if I truly believe that, I cannot do steroids because that will defeat the purpose. Like if I ever do steroids, I lose my credibility to talk about health because steroids go against your health. You wouldn't do it unless you were on the brink of death or something, or maybe you need the steroids to repair your broken bones or something. But if you're just doing that to get stronger, that is the opposite of health in my eyes.
Yeah, man, you should upload on YouTube, or do you?
I'm going to start right now. I don't do anything. I think the egg experiment would be a great kind of outlet for YouTube and the next ones. Honestly, like in the past maybe 1 month is when I finally kind of started actually talking on camera. So I'm kind of developing these new muscles. And I think now you're right. I think it does make sense to post on YouTube because I'm getting better at this.
Bro, when I started uploading on YouTube like 2 years ago, even before I started the podcast, bro, I had a thick accent, bro. Like I couldn't speak English, bro. Like now now people actually like they can still tell that I'm not American or that I'm not a native English speaker, but like because there's still some words I don't really pronounce the best, but it's like I'm confident with my English finally, you know. But it's like because
your English sounds very good in my eyes or my ears,
man. Because I spoke a lot, you know. Like I could have bought a $50 course on how to speak English in 30 days, and I still wouldn't move anywhere, bro. Like for me, the biggest thing was speaking English, bro. And posting content was the best thing for me, man. Honestly.
Yeah, you could have bought that course from some guy on a Miami balcony.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Nah, you're right though. Practice makes perfect, and all
Yeah,
ends.
man. Do you have haters?
Right now, I don't really. Well, maybe on some of
Mm.
the egg stuff. Sometimes I'll read through like
Mm.
my comments, and someone will say, "Oh, this guy's he's gonna die. He's gonna have his liver's gonna give out, or some stuff like that." Or the ones that are a little more annoying, or when they accuse me of being on roids, because it almost when someone accuses you of being on roids, it almost kind of undermines your progress. And that's not to say that, let's say, for example, Chris Bumstead. That's not to say that he didn't work hard for his giant physique, because he's a hard worker. But when someone's a natural bodybuilder and you accuse them of being on steroids, it kind of undermines their progress.
I'd honestly think that's a compliment, first of all. And the second thing
You're
is
right,
like,
though. You're right.
second thing is like, that's what a beginner's saying that you might think, because I think that if you've been into this fitness industry for the past few years, you kind of know that just because someone takes roids doesn't mean that they're gonna get giant. There are so many people who take roids and they still look like shit, you know. For
It's true.
example, actually, I'm not gonna name people, but I'm sure we could come up with a couple of examples. But bro, people that take roids, they have to work fucking hard.
Yeah.
To
I
still.
think one big one's Dr. Mike Israetel. That guy.
Ah,
That guy.
Mike Israel looks good, to be honest.
I
I
think
actually
didn't
think
he have to get like a stomach gut surgery or liposuction or something like that?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Did you
I heard
see?
like
Did you see what Drake did? Like Drake had that surgery where they sucked out the fat from his stomach. So I
did he
posted a
really?
selfie. Yeah. But everybody called him out on it because he had no like muscle definition in his arms, in his shoulders, in his
Yeah.
chest. So it's just like a fat guy that has visible abs because he got his fat sucked out from a surgery. But he had no
There's
shoulder muscles, no muscles anywhere else, bro. And the obliques had literally a gap between them. So it like literally was so visible. Check it out. Drake fake abs, bro. If you like, Greg
I
Doucette
saw it
actually.
trending on social media. That's
Greg
hilarious though.
Greg Doucette did a good video explaining it. It has like 12 minutes, but he actually explained it very objectively, which I actually respect him for that. Even Rick Ross called him out on it, bro.
That's funny of all
Which Rick
people,
Ross
Rick
is fat
Ross.
as fuck, but
Yeah, that's
he
funny.
just said, "Hey Drake, here are your abs," and it was like a bunch of like fucking what do you
Probably
call
some
them?
chocolate.
Some like
Probably cat tar or
some
something.
like doughs next to each other, like I don't know what do you call it. But anyways, basically,
Yeah.
if you look at Rick Ross's Instagram, you'll see it. But bro, like, yeah, man, that's something like crazy. Like he completely like everybody made fun of like it's BBL for men.
No, basically, it's actually
Yeah.
cheating. It is interesting though, because I heard at some point it would become more rare to have a six pack than it would for like someone to be a millionaire. Like if you were to pick a random stranger on the street, it'd be more
Oh.
likely for him to have $1 million than for him to have a six pack. Maybe Drake's true for
Mm.
that because he had to get $1 billion
Mm.
just to get a six pack.
Yeah, it cost like 40K that surgery. Yeah.
It's just embarrassing because like had he just it just probably means he's like abused his body in terms of maybe not eating right, like going to too many of those
Nah,
five-star restaurants and
even
not focus on the
before that, he
basics.
was like in okay shape. But he just like had some fat, but he had muscle too. He when he's going to the gym,
Yeah,
right? He just wasn't jacked. And now his abs look like he's fucking jacked, but his upper body looks like he's been like 1 or 2 years into the gym. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's
I just
that thing sad. Yeah.
I feel like if he was dialed in on his physique or dialed in on his training and on his diet, he would have never had to
Yeah.
get that surgery. So to me, that
Oh
just
yeah.
means like maybe he got too comfortable. He had too much money. It's too easy
Mm.
to maybe go to the five-star restaurant
Yeah.
or
Also,
do
that
the drugs
selfie
or
that he
whatever.
took in the mirror, it was like he had like 20 different alcohol bottles below that, right, in that picture. So it's like drinks a lot probably too.
It's what exactly, and like he probably raps about his liquor. He probably
Yeah.
drinks his own. He's getting high of his own supply because he has his own liquor company. So
Really? I
that's
didn't
all
even
it
know
is.
about
Like,
that.
yeah, I think it's called Virginia Black or something like that. But he has his own
Interesting.
liquor brand as well.
Yeah.
So it makes sense because man, he just
Yeah.
probably it's kind of like the Aiden Ross guy. Like you see these modern
Mm.
streamers where they have all this money, all this attention, but they'll be in like the worst shape. They don't
Aiden
take care of
got
their
into
bodies.
quite okay shape. Like he doesn't really have a jacked six pack, but he has decent shoulders and chest right now. He looks okay. He's
Yeah,
not jacked, but he's healthy. So
yeah, that's
that can
good.
Yeah, but also like his lean addiction, bro, he relapsed so many
I
times, bro.
remember
That was
that.
like,
That's funny. Maybe
oh
maybe
man,
he was a bad example. I should say more someone like, I don't know if you know him, but the guy Cookie King, for example.
Cookie
He's
what?
his name is Cookie King. He's trending on TikTok. But have you heard about like the looks maxers, like that whole
Oh
niche
yeah,
and way?
Lux Max source, of course, yeah.
I think he may have used to be a looks maxer in the past, but I think he literally ate too many cookies and he's like pretty fat now.
Mm.
Like he looks like how Aiden Ross looked before he locked in.
Oh man,
Maybe worse actually. Uh,
yeah,
dude, the whole looks maxing niche stuff is messed up too, because like you have guys in that niche telling other men to like hop on TRT to get in better shape.
nah,
And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. You can just change your diet and fix yourself so you don't need to
yeah,
inject testosterone for the rest of your life just to feel the same way I feel naturally.
yeah,
There's other
yeah,
ways
bro.
to boost your test
Mm.
naturally.
Yeah. Also, like, I just think that, bro, Lux Maxing is so like simple, bro. Like, eat harder foods so you build the jawline muscles. Like, eat tougher foods, eat the fatty meats, whatever. They make sure
Mm.
that your eyebrows are thick. Okay, that's maybe one thing that I could think about. You know, it's like it's not that simple, bro. Like, don't eat shit that will break out your skin. Acne actually comes from bad food, not really like obviously hygiene too, but whatever. It's like, bro, it's like so many just basic human simple stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get into some rapid fire questions before we wrap up.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, what's the best advice you've been given?
Ever?
Yeah,
Hmm.
like even general life advice.
It might be something as simple as the only thing that matters is the long run. So yeah,
Mm.
my high
Okay.
school stat teacher gave me that advice, by the way.
What's the worst advice you've been given?
Worst advice? Hmm.
Someone giving you stupid advice.
This might sound controversial, but someone gave me advice to kind of to go after as many women as possible
Mm.
while I'm, and I feel like it's bad because while I'm young, I should use that effort and energy to build myself into a better man so that in the future I can just attract more and I don't need to be running around chasing, wasting
Yeah.
my youth in prime.
I feel like, bro, when you get to a certain level, it's like you start getting DM requests from girls. You start getting looks at girl from in the gym from girls, and literally girls wanting you to talk to them, and you can tell. If you have to think about does this girl like me or not, she probably doesn't like you enough. Like a lot of guys, bro, a girl will reject them 3 times, say that they're busy, and they'll still try. Like I'm bro,
Yes.
like if 3 times and she never told you when she's free, she's not really that keen, you know. It's like those like obvious things, kind of like. So again, bro, it's like I don't think that girls are necessarily a waste of time. You can find a great girl that
Yeah, I
shows
agree.
interest. Yeah, I think that
I
just like
guess.
guys should just be open to girls, but not trying to hunt them down. If a girl shows interest, show interest back if you like her. You know,
Yeah.
don't like. Also, I hate this guy that say, "Nah, man, girls are a distraction. I'm just locked in." Bro, like, is jerking off better? Like, come on now. It's
Nah.
not.
I guess for me at the time I got this advice, it was when I was like, locked in on semen retention. Like at the time,
Oh yeah.
I think I was on like at least 200 or something days of celibacy, and for me, it
Uh,
just felt like every day was getting better, and I
mm,
had so much energy, and I felt like
that makes
if
sense.
I,
Yeah, that's not an
yeah,
excuse.
yeah,
That's a valid reason.
I was trying to hold that energy because it makes you stronger. It boosts your testosterone, is my belief.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I can absolutely understand that, man. So, if you could only do 10 exercises to maintain your physique for a year, which 10 exercises would you choose?
hmm, that's a good question. If I
So,
could
like to
only do
hit
10
all muscle
exercises,
groups.
what?
To like hit all muscle groups.
I'm thinking I would do. I'd want to do incline press. I'll say that's my number
Mm-hmm.
one. I want to
Dumbbell,
add
the dumbbell or barbell?
mm, dumbbells probably better. It gives
Mm,
me. I would say dumbbell probably gives me versatility.
yeah.
Even though I usually do barbell, dumbbell if I can only do that one. But
Mm,
as a dumbbell barbell press, I'll say chin ups, and I can add a weight too if I'm doing like weighted chin ups or weighted dips.
yeah.
It's a incline press, chin ups. I'll throw in dips too. Maybe we'll throw in some dumbbell shoulder press too. Yeah, so that's 4 so far. Um, I'll throw in, let's go with just some classic good old squats as well. And that's 5. Wow.
Mm.
I'm already at a pretty good spot. I'll throw in hamstring curls too. And I still got 4 left. This is hard. This is gonna sound greedy, but I'm gonna throw in some preacher curls because I love hitting biceps. I've never had a bad day where I hit biceps. That's just me. That's like the snack. That's like the fruit of the exercises. But for the last 3, I might throw in some. I might throw in some like Arnold press, like the Arnold shoulder press, because that's a good way to hit all the heads of your shoulders as well.
Yeah.
And I think I only got 2 more. Shoot. For those last 2, dang. I'll throw in some chest flies too. It's kind of crazy that I picked 3 chest workouts out of all those. But screw it.
And then for the last one that you missed.
Dang, I'm missing the back, honestly. Maybe we'll throw in some like barbell row, but the one where like it's a chest supported barbell row. You ever see the machine where like you put your chest against the seat? And you're, like,
I know. Yeah, you're leaning forward. Yeah,
exactly, one of those. I might honestly, you know what? I'm scratching it. No preacher curls. I'm trading preacher curls for wide grip pull-ups. Yeah, that'd be my time right there.
So you missed calves.
That was intentional.
Yeah, of course.
if I had 100, if you gave me 100 workouts to train, I wouldn't. Wait, what?
Now that I think about it, traps. I don't know if you've hit traps with something.
Probably not in that.
Yeah, like traps, bro. Those are quite important muscles.
You know what? Actually, there's a. Nah, I think I missed it. Like you said,
I'd honestly hit deadlift instead of something. You know, deadlift like hits lower back and traps and hamstrings and glutes.
Yeah,
that's like a decent one.
It's a good comprehensive workout. I personally don't do it anymore. I've heard that one thing I heard about deadlifting is that it can make your core thicker because as your core gets stronger from bracing all that weight, it'll get a little bit wider, almost kind of mimicking what a belt does in terms of like building more internal pressure. So for me to stay a little more aesthetic, I don't deadlift.
But I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing. Like
that's not.
I think that strength for a little bit of a thicker core is still like, you have huge lats, bro. Honestly, that won't do as much of a difference. It's like a girl saying, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm gonna be built like a man. I'm like, bro, you would have to take fucking steroids and train for 10 years to look like a man. Chill out, lady.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, nah, that won't do that much of a difference as you think it would. But yeah, I understand that point.
What's it called? Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, nah, that's okay, man. What would you say was your proudest moment in your life?
Proudest moment? It might be honestly, this might sound cheesy or corny, but I think it was honestly the day of my college graduation, which was past May. Just because like I was surrounded by all my peers, like all my friends, all my family as well. All my family flew in. So it was just amazing being surrounded by like so many of my peers who went through the same journey of graduating and finishing college, all the late nights of cramming exams, all the hard nights of finishing the project last second. It was beautiful to be in that environment. And then also seeing like how happy everybody's families and friends were in the crowd. So everybody was just proud of them for getting through that process and going through that grind. And for me, that felt like the most proud moment, or at least the happiest moment, because of how celebrated I got to feel over that weekend during graduation.
Yeah, man, that's honestly something maybe I might miss out on, but honestly, I don't even regret it. I dropped out of high school when I was 16, so I never got that experience because it didn't make sense for me. Like high school here is probably different, and also I was making the same amount as my teacher, so I was like, what the fuck?
I would drop out too, because if you go to college at that point, you're gonna either lose that money or pay it for the school.
Oh man, don't even talk about American colleges. You pay for college. Here, until you're 26, you can be a student for like you can go free college.
Wow, that's
fire. And Germany probably too. Yeah, free college.
I got lucky and was under scholarship, so I really didn't have to
Mm.
take on any massive student loans or student debts, which
Yeah.
was a blessing because my university, I think they charged like around $100,000 per year
Oh my god.
for tuition.
Dude,
And
400 grand, bro. That's a Lambo right there.
what's also ironic is even though I mentioned like graduating was the most important or one of the most proud moments of my life, I didn't even really care that much about getting the degree. Which is funny. Like it was for me, it was more about like having my family there, making them happy, and being around a
Yeah.
bunch of other people who are making their families happy. Like today, to this day,
Yeah.
I still don't even have the diploma. Like I don't have
Yeah.
the, I never got the diploma, and I don't really care
Yeah.
because it's just a piece of paper. All I care about is the feeling of being there.
Yeah,
So
that's what experiences do, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
18.
Yeah.
Probably to take sleep more seriously because back then I honestly thought it was cool to like. Actually, no, I'm gonna change it. My advice would be to stop watching porn and start
Oh
doing
yeah,
semen
man.
retention. That I think that would give a bigger dividend, bigger impacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, even you asked earlier my top 3 ways to testosterone max. I'm gonna put semen retention number 1, then sleep number
Really?
2, and then diet number 3. Because what I found
Huh.
is when you're on semen retention, you tend to just gravitate towards doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because like
How you
you
do
can
one
be
thing is how you do everything. Yeah.
exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Man.
It
This
just
podcast
builds
was a...
positive momentum everywhere in your life, is at least my experience of it.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Yo, I have actually oh, give me a second. Yeah,
And
actually, I always, ever since I was like 16, I had Arnold on my wall right over here.
hey,
You can
that's
see that,
fine.
yeah. Oh,
I
this
gave tribute for
motherfucker.
the Arnold's press.
Ah, man, I don't really do that much, to be honest.
It's not a bad shoulder workout.
Honestly, lat raises, either dumbbell lat raises or the cable lat raises, those work the best for me. At least those are like, I feel the biggest like bump in them the best, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, those are good. Don't skip on the front raises either, because I'm realizing now that
Front.
I've done too many side raises where my side
Hmm.
delts a lot more developed in comparison to my front delts. So my front delts, my shoulders could look so much crazier had I not slacked on front raises. So those are definitely worth doing.
I never really did much front raises, to be honest.
You should try doing them more, because I bet you if you start doing them more for a few months, you will notice your shoulders looking better.
You know, there was this one piece of advice from Greg Doucette. He said that people training front delts are stupid because you use your front delts every time you're sitting on a desk or whatever. So I never did them, bro, which is crazy.
He's wrong, because I know that my front delts looked better after I started training them. Maybe the thing is, it's tricky to take advice from people who are on roids, because he literally can take his roids and sit and do nothing, and he'll grow more muscle than someone who's training in the gym every day, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
So like it's better to take advice from naturals, is my belief. Because
I might start actually training front delts, bro. Now that I think about it.
You should, bro. I promise you. Like, worst case scenario, it just gives you one more reason to skip calves and be like, all right, I won't do calves. I'll do front delts instead.
Most people's calves are my front delts. Like the front delts is something that I skip, but I never skip calves.
That's good, honestly. I should do calves more, honestly. I think I got kind of lucky in terms of genetics. I also used to run track, so I might be kind of coasting in terms of calf development, but I should train them more often.
Yeah. Man.
But the front delts, it'll go a long way, I'm telling you.
Yeah, man. This podcast has been amazing, bro. Thank you for taking time out of your day for this. What's next for you, man?
What's next? I want to continue. Well, in the short term, I'm moving to Nashville, and I'm about to start a new job in finance.
Nashville is in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I know a little bit of American geo.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm about to move to Nashville to start a new job. And I'm waiting to get like the first or second paycheck, because they're giving me this pretty big sign-on bonus package, relocation bonus, and I'm going to use all that to fund this egg research experiment, because I'm going to spend about $5,000 in terms of blood testing getting the right eggs,
yeah.
get the other supplements I need, and documenting the whole process. And so I'm kind of waiting on my job to start paying me so I can put out that content.
Fuck yeah,
That
bro.
is what I'm focused on next in my short-term process.
Yeah, man. That's honestly amazing, bro. Where can people find you, man?
They can find me at Steve Udotong on Instagram, at Steve Udotong. And honestly, that's the best place because I post the same content on pretty much both Instagram and TikTok, but I'm a lot more consistent and a lot more engaged with my audience on Instagram. So that is the best place to find me.
Okay. Guys, thanks a lot for watching till the end. Steve, thanks for showing up, man. Guys, God bless y'all. See y'all on the next one.
God bless y'all. Thank you for having me.